The problem has nothing to do with your willpower. You are not weak, you don't have issues beyond fixing, you're not broken. Binging is not a failure in and of itself, it is a coping mechanism, it is a signal, it is something that your brain and your body are telling you that there is something wrong and there is something deeper going on below that needs your attention. This can manifest in binge eating behaviors, and whilst binging itself can trigger more binges, for the majority of people, in my experience anyway, with all the clients that I've seen, it tends to be because of an unmet emotional need that is going on deeper. Having said that, the other problem is that when we struggle with binge eating and emotional eating issues, we tend to fall into certain personality types, and one of the main ones for binge eaters is the all or nothing thinker. We're the kind of people that struggle to have one piece of cake. We try and we force ourselves to resist and to restrict, and unfortunately for a lot of the time we then spiral after we've eaten that one piece and we end up eating the whole cake or the whole packet or many packets of different things. You may have experienced this before. You may have woken up kind of almost as if you've blacked out and you've been surrounded by crisp packets or chocolate wrappers or cake packages, whatever it is. And that is classic binge eating disorder. Hi everyone, I am Susie. I'm a binge and emotional eating therapist. I've been doing this work for around 4 years now, and I specialize in helping people overcome binge eating once and for all without more willpower, starting over every Monday, cutting out calories, cutting out whole food groups, no matter how many times you have tried. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to stop one bad weekend from turning into a full relapse, into binge eating patterns, or maybe disordered eating patterns, other ones that you're experiencing, emotional eating, things like this. So this leads me on to my first point, which is that one binge or one episode is not a failure. It is feedback. It is something that is going on deeper inside that is signaling to you that there's a problem. But it is not to say that that erases all of the hard work that you've done and all the progress that you have made so far, because if you're watching this video, you've likely watched quite a lot of videos from other people. You've likely gone into seeking help outside of yourself already, and you will have absolutely made progress, even if it doesn't always feel like that. But one binge or one bad weekend, one bad evening, it doesn't negate all of your previous progress. There's an amazing analogy by someone called Dolmar Cross, I believe, and they say, you know, you can imagine if you're taking a road trip and you're driving in England, say from London to Scotland, and you get in your car and you're driving and you're halfway there, you're almost there, 3/4 of the way to Scotland, you're literally on the border, and you get a flat tire. What a lot of us as binge eaters experience is this self-sabotage issue. So when we get that flat tire, the logical thing would be to replace that one and keep moving. But what a lot of us do is we get out, we have the flat tire, so we decide to slash all of the other 3 tires so that they're all flat, and then we hitchhike back to London to start the journey all over again. And that doesn't make any logical sense. The problem is that a lot of our decisions when it comes to disordered eating patterns are not fueled by logic, they are fueled by emotion. Because in a battle between emotion and logic, emotion always wins. So to wrap it all up together, a couple of bad eating days or a couple of days of eating in a way that is not conducive to your goals or doesn't feel good to you, or if you have participated in binge eating behaviors and patterns, it doesn't erase all your previous progress. And the best thing for you is to pick yourself right back up again, change that flat tire, and keep moving to get to your destination. Number 2 is what I call the power of the pause. It is about learning that progress is not the massive steps that we take. Those milestones are never reached in one day. It's the minute little steps that we take every day. Number 2 is, instead of rushing into panic mode, which a lot of us tend to do because we've got heightened emotions, remember emotion versus logic, instead of rushing into destructive behaviors because we think, well, that's it, I'm here now, I may as well just eat the whole cake, or I may as well just drink the whole can of Coke, or I may just insert whatever it is that you tend to do. The power of the pause is so vital in your progress because it allows you to take a step back and to assess the situation from an outside or from a wider angle. If someone is an artist, I can bet you go to any artist, and if they've been taught by someone else, one of the things that will have been said to them is, do not get so close to the canvas all the time that you get lost in the detail. You need to take a step back and look from a further distance to see where you want to adjust things, because when we're too up close like this, we can't see the bigger picture. For example, you may be concentrating on all the things that you did wrong. You may be telling yourself that you're weak, or that you're a failure, or that you're never going to achieve the goals that you set out. But that is not true. You're not weak, you're not a failure, you don't have a willpower problem. What you can do instead is, why don't you look at other areas of your life that need fulfilling? Are you getting enough sleep? Do you have a very good supportive community and network around you? Who are the 5 people that you hang out with the most? Because we become those people. Are you feeding your body with nutritionally dense foods, as well as the foods that aren't as nutritionally dense but taste really good? Do you have a good work-life balance? Do you have emotional support? Do you feel lonely? Do you restrict yourself in other areas? Do you enjoy any kind of activity outside of food and eating? Do you have anything to look forward to? Do you give yourself enough breaks, either at work, from day to day, or do you have planned holidays in the year that help you relieve stress? These are all things that are non-scale victories, as we call them, that we can take out, we can look at when we take a step back and really look at all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that are called your life. Because food and eating is a very small puzzle piece, but it tends to bleed out into other areas of life when we are so obsessive and we're so restrictive. And that is a quality that people who don't have this kind of relationship with food enjoy. When someone doesn't have binge eating tendencies and doesn't experience emotional eating patterns and things, and they have a very kind of take it or leave it attitude with food, it's much easier to eat a meal, enjoy it, stay present, then let that go, leave food on the plate if they want to, and move on with their day, and they don't struggle with things like food noise. So one of the things you can do to help induce this is to literally pause, take a step back, take a nice deep breath, look at the other areas of your life that need fulfilling. What other cups in your life need to be filled up? And also, just that one small moment that you take to pause is progress, because it's not something that you did before, it's something different. There's that phrase, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But if you can take just the smallest step of taking a breath, taking 3 breaths, taking 2 minutes, to just let yourself go and assess the situation and ask yourself, okay, what was I craving? Did I have some kind of triggering event that happened right before it? Am I particularly stressed or exhausted? Am I sleep deprived? These are all things that we can take into consideration to help us move forward. Number 3 is reinforcing this new pattern by showing yourself some compassion. I guarantee that if you had someone that's very close to you, a loved one, a friend, sister, mother, brother, grandparent, uncle, auntie, cousin, best friend, whoever it is, if they were struggling with what you're struggling with, would you talk to them in the same way that you talk to yourself? And I'd be very, very surprised if you did. If you did, you might need to assess that and take a step back from that and maybe make some improvements. But I'm willing to bet that you would never talk to your loved ones in the way that you talk to yourself in your head. And compassion goes a very, very, very long way. It's really underrated when it comes to healing. And it's the perfect solution, it's the perfect antidote, because our binge and emotional eating patterns are fueled by restriction, unmet emotional needs, shame, guilt, all of these things. So when we can counteract that with self-compassion especially, you can do wonders. The beauty with self-compassion is that there is no agenda. There is not, when someone else gives us positive reinforcement, it's amazing, it's wonderful, it's brilliant, don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that you should ignore that. But what I am saying is, when it comes from yourself, there is 100% no agenda other than you trying to better your situation, trying to improve the situation for you, trying to move forward and build your life and rebuild your relationship with food. Another point is to reconnect with your routine. Routine is such a powerful tool when it comes to helping us deal with binge eating tendencies. A lot of binge eaters experience ADHD, and this can come with complications, including struggling with executive functioning skills, so that's like planning, organizing. But if you can get some kind of routine into your life that doesn't revolve around food and eating, that can help you break out of the darkness. It can really help you give your life some structure and help you also fit in your meal times accordingly. That's going to support you in the best way possible. This can also help you balance things out, because again, one of the issues that we have when we struggle with binge eating disorder is that we tend to overdo things. So we either restrict very, very heavily with our food, or we over exercise. We over and under compensate quite easily. So this can help balance things out and help us get more of a handle on pacing ourselves when it comes to exercise. So absolutely do the exercises that really you enjoy, but you're not forcing yourself to do 2-3 hours a day. You want to find out what works best for your body and your routine and do small incremental steps like this. Maybe that is 10 minutes a day, and maybe you can build that up to 20 minutes, half an hour plus if you like. If you're over exercising, you want to bring that back down to say 30 minutes and have gentle exercise, because our bodies when we are binge eating tend to become quite inflamed, and we have a lot of inflammation in the body anyway. So we don't want to overstress the body. We don't want to add more cortisol onto what we're already experiencing. So if you can induce a nice calm sense of rhythm into your life, I cannot tell you how helpful that can be. And lastly, looping back to my first point a little bit, but we want to look at what is that unmet emotional need that is being experienced. I want you to go back before your last binge, say, and notice if there was some kind of trigger. Did you feel lonely? Were you angry? Were you sad, upset, overwhelmed? Were you frustrated or disappointed? Did you feel that you had failed somehow? Every binge points to an unmet need. What we want to do instead of berating ourselves is looking at the binge as a messenger. What is that binge trying to tell me? What is it that is going on that I need to focus on to support myself emotionally so that I can feel the feelings that I'm feeling and then support myself with whatever it is that I need? Maybe that is talking to one of your best friends or your family members. Maybe that's simply doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. I think it's Mel Robbins, but you literally count from 5 to 1, and the second you hit 1, you get up, you take yourself out for a walk, you get some fresh air, even if it's for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Doing something that changes your environment around you can massively help. When you're asking yourself the question, what is it that I need in this moment, and how can I best fulfill that need without looking at food and eating, the closer you get to filling your life with more compassion, rebuilding connection, introducing more comfort into your life, and seeing the binge not as a failure or as weakness or that you don't have willpower, but as an opportunity to look to other solutions and rebuild those areas of your life to support your infrastructure moving forward in healing your relationship with food. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for your time. Please, if you wouldn't mind supporting this channel and clicking the follow button. I have lots more content to come. I'm going to be uploading as many times as I possibly can. If you click the link in my bio, you'll find much more information and free resources, including a free masterclass, as well as free blog posts that I've written to help you get started on your journey if you haven't already. And if you'd like, you can also book a free, no obligation consultation call with me to look at having therapy if that's something that you feel would help you. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.